easy, slow and easy tonight. We're barely transcending in tonight. It's a subtle day because I'm solo, I'm by myself. No KC, no counterpart to encourage the mood. So looks like I'm doing it all solo tonight. But we got a lot to cover, and big games coming up this weekend here in the state of Oklahoma. If you're an Oklahoma State fan, if you're an Arkansas fan, there's a lot of, I guess you could call it interstate rivalry. There used to be a battle between those two going about every other year back, 40 years ago. But since Arkansas left the I guess you could call it the Big 8 conference, Southwest Conference actually, and went on to the SEC. I don't even think they've seen each other. Well, wait a minute. Looks like I've got a call coming in. Give me just a second here. Let me see if I can get switched over to this call. When somebody's calling me, sometimes I struggle a little bit. Hold on just a second. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Coach?
Is this, hey, listen, is this, I just got to find out, is this a Faithletic The Podcast?
It is that, Coach.
Did I call into the right place?
You did.
I'm a little lost, if you could help me out. I heard this is where you're supposed to go on Tuesday nights now, or Wednesday nights.
Don't even know what day it is.
Listen, I don't even know what day it is. Listen, every day is Saturday to me, if you understand what I'm saying.
Folks,
understand what I'm saying.
I'm at a loss for words. It's the former coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks, Lou Holtz, was joining us tonight. Coach, how you been?
Oh my goodness, I'm pretty good right now. Listen, I'm in the great state of Oklahoma because we got a big game this weekend against Oklahoma State. I don't know if you know this, but I still think I'm the coach of the Arkansas.
Well, you're not, Coach.
What are you talking about?
I'm good with it. You're one of my favorite coaches of all time. Probably number 2 behind Eddie Sutton.
Eddie Sutton?
Yeah.
That guy is pretty good. I will say that.
I mean, you guys both coach at the same school.
I'll take number 2 any day. That's fine. That's fine. I get it.
So what do you see this weekend, Coach?
Oh, in my future, I see a little bit of Ollie Gordon. I don't really know how. Listen, this guy's been racking my brain all week. He is a dynamo. He's unslappable. And
he's on what?
He's unstoppable.
I thought you said unslappable.
That too. You can't get a hold of him. He's quicker than a hiccup,
Well, Coach, I'm a little confused. It's been like 40 years since you've been in Fayetteville. You've been to Minnesota.
Is that how long it's been?
Well, pretty close. Minnesota, the Notre Dame, and, of course, South Carolina.
Well,
how you end up back in Fayetteville?
They needed somebody. We're struggling a little bit right now. If they don't get it figured out, it's either going to be me or Bobby Petrino as the coach. So we got to figure it out.
Are you lobbying?
Am I lobbying?
Yeah, are you lobbying for a coaching job? Because I know you think you still coach the Razorbacks, but are you? I don't think you're officially the coach.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, pretty sure.
What am I holding this clipboard for?
I don't know, Coach. I don't know.
Oh no.
Well, give us a little bit of rah-rah for your Razorbacks this weekend, and then we'll let you go.
Listen, I don't. We're gonna need some serious help against this Oklahoma State football team. They are really tough, and we just got to play SEC ball because it just means something different there. That's what they say in the SEC. It just means more. So I think this game to show the world that we need more in the college football. We need to run the ball. That's all. We got to match them step for step. I don't really know where I am right now.
I don't think you do. Any
no.
any Coach Lou Holtz-isms before we let you go?
Go Irish. That's all I got. Go Irish.
All right, well, Coach, thanks for calling in. I don't know how you got this number, but it's an honor, sir. It's an honor.
Yes, I should be allowed. If you could pull me to the Golden Corral, that'd be good.
I think you just need to turn left wherever you are right now, Coach.
Left? Okay.
All right, Coach, thank you. Have a good night, sir.
It's a pleasure.
That was crazy. Oh, wait a minute. I think we have Casey actually trying to call in as well. Hold on a second. I think he was a little worried about getting his co-hosting spot kind of robbed there. Are you, Casey? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What was that all about?
Sorry, I'm late. I just I had a little bit of an issue. I had to stay late at school today, so.
You just missed Coach Holtz.
Just hopping on. Lou made it?
Lou made it. You didn't hear?
Oh my gosh.
I think he still thinks he's coaching the Razorbacks.
He does?
He thinks he does.
He probably thinks he does.
I mean, what will we have next? I mean, Dusty Rhodes a couple of weeks ago from above, and now Lou Holtz. I mean,
from down here.
Who's next? Terry Funk?
Maybe. It could be.
Ric Flair?
Woo! Yeah, definitely. Nature Boy. I could probably work on a Ric Flair.
With a tear in my eye.
With a tear in my eye. This is the greatest day of my life. Oh boy!
So tomorrow night, your Chiefs hook it up, huh?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
Yes.
Are you nervous?
Nervous? No, we don't need to be nervous. There's no need to be nervous because all we have to do is go. We just got to win our 12 games and get ourselves in the postseason and do our thing. But I really do think this is going to be a special team, but we'll see. I think that every year. So
you do.
But I've not been wrong yet. So
the unique thing about my boy KC here is he's the most optimistic fan that I think I've ever known because he never.
You think so?
Pretty close, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I can remember in the. Yeah, by the way, this officially kicks off season 5 for us. By the way.
Oh man!
Today
yes,
is,
it does.
And I probably should have said that when I introduced the show, and I'll do it now. This is our official season 5 kickoff of Faithletic, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of a storied history here, and just to let people know, I started on a radio show about 2017, I believe, was the year. Could have been 2016. I can't remember. Anyway, as on crossover radio, which is no longer, and it was.
Oh, is that right?
They are done.
You said that,
yeah. It was called DB OT with DB and Big Nate. Big Nate was my co-host and producer of the show, and we kept that train going for a while till Big Nate got a promotion. Then we brought on. Or me and the Major came aboard to produce the show. And then along comes this guy who calls himself KC or Cookie or, however you want to call it. But we actually called him the Natural. The Natural. So it was OT with the Major or DB, Major, and the Natural.
That's right.
And then KC and I decided that we kind of wanted to do our own thing, and so we started a podcast, and that's where Faithletic was brought about 5 years ago. This is our 5th season, so somewhere in there.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I don't know I actually have it in my calendar for October, and I have to go back and look to see the exact date. But we just officially, when we kick off pro football season, we start a new season. So that's our kind of our
That's that's our rhythm. So
Yep.
that's wild, man.
Happy anniversary.
That is pretty crazy. Yes, we did it.
Yep. And I don't know how many episodes. I want to say a couple hundred. You know, I mean,
sure.
We've if you just do Faithletic alone, that's not even counting crossover. If you did Faithletic alone, I mean, probably 5 years, 40 a year. That might be close. Between 150 and 200, somewhere in there. Episodes.
We've done a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I could probably go back and count them, and I might do that at some point. Right now, I'm not going to, but I think because they're all still posted between Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So I'm sure I could find them all.
Yeah.
And then I have them stored on my computer, so every episode is stored except for the ones that I can't hear.
Sure.
Which has happened a couple of times.
Yeah. It does happen.
How was your trip to Kansas City or to St. Louis?
Really good. We had a really good time. My niece and nephew are just the funniest. Like they're crushing it this age right now. So it's pretty fun to watch.
How old are they?
Then they are right now. They are let's see, 6 and 3.
Oh wow!
So,
yep.
Yeah, they're really funny.
You're having fun.
We had a great time with them, and St. Louis is great. So it was an excellent time to be had by all.
Well, glad you're back.
Yeah, being with fam and all that too. That's great. So, we also had our fantasy football draft.
Oh yeah,
which was really fun too. Yeah.
Who was your number 1 draft pick?
So unfortunately, fortunately, I guess. I had to
auto draft.
No, I had to take Jamar Chase, who is holding in right now, not holding out. So, yeah, we're hoping that he signs the contract soon, but yeah, it's a little dicey. But I had to take him because he fell to me at 9, and usually he's like a number 3 pick, and I'm like, I got to do something here.
You picked 9th?
I took him, and and then I took Puka Nacua 2nd, and Kenneth Walker. So a pretty good squad. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah.
Well, for the second year in a row, I did not play.
You didn't?
Nope. Nope. And I don't have any. I was actually just kind of crossing my mind last week. Like, I'm so glad I'm not doing this. And the show or the league that I'm usually in, they were all talking about it like yesterday or Monday or something, and I was like, I'm so glad I'm not doing this anymore. You guys can have it. It's just
sure.
I'm too competitive. And
I didn't know that about you.
Oh yeah, you don't?
This is brand new information.
Do you know me?
Yeah, brand new information.
Yeah,
no,
sure.
We knew this.
And I hate losing worse than I want to win, and trust me, there's a difference. So there you go.
I understand this.
Quote from Moneyball.
We've had a. Sometimes this week in our volleyball adventures that it's like we've not played very well in a couple of games, and it's like, oh my gosh, I hate losing. I just hate it. I hate losing.
Yep.
It was a coaching lesson, just keeping it cool. Like I had to talk to myself a lot this week. It was like, okay, there's
a lot of lessons you can learn from losing, and trust me, I have learned them all. So
right.
And my wisdom, I have learned that unless it's something I'm really, really, really passionate about, I'm just going to take a pass because I don't want to go through the losing part of it. So powerlifting, I can lose all day because I love being in it, and I love to see the growth, and I can lose a championship here and there. What I don't like is me not being able to spend 100% on it and getting beat, which means I'm not giving everything I have. And I can't do that
Sure.
with a fantasy draft because I have responsibilities. And look, no pun taken on those who do it. I'm not saying they don't have responsibilities. I'm just telling you that I would spend way too much time on it and neglect my
Sure.
responsibilities if I did it the right way. So I just decided after 3 years in it, I was like, I can't do this.
Sure. I get that. I understand that.
So anyway,
but I love it. It makes things just a little more interesting.
It does.
On Sunday.
It does.
Keeps my rooting interest going a little bit. So
I mean,
I don't know if it's just because I've been on losing teams my whole life. That like I understand. Like, I think I get it. I guess, but anyway, could be something to that. I don't really know.
Well, I look. I just choose not to. I don't judge anybody who wants to, and I think I think it's good for people who are not normally fans of football. I think it engages them, and you have people that don't know anything about the dynamics of playing football, but they'll play fantasy.
Sure.
So they understand that part of it. I understand. You and I both understand the mechanics of the game and the momentums of the game and things like that, which also drive you half batty.
Only because I played a ton of Madden.
That's not even realistic, really. But so something came across my social media feed today, which I still can't confirm or deny, that the Cowboys signed Dak Prescott to a 10-year deal. I don't know if it's true. I didn't really have time to research it.
Sure.
I just hope the heck not. And the thing.
So,
what have you found out? Have you found out anything?
I have not seen anything yet since we had our pre-show little call
meeting before the meeting.
I've not been able to find anything that would be true as of yet. But I guess I'll never put it past our guy Jerry to maybe do something like that. But I cannot seem to find anything on that information. However, what I did find was that Dak was hoping for a $1 billion contract, and that was kind of his starting price. So that's a little crazy, if you ask me. But I couldn't find anything that said the Cowboys were going to match that yet.
Well, I am efforting.
Excuse me.
I'm having some connection issues here. I'm surprised we're still on the show because I can't. Some of my devices are not. Doesn't it on Bleacher Report does not report it, so it must have been a hoax.
Yeah, it might be.
There's nothing on Bleacher Report, which is usually pretty, usually fairly up to date and current for the most part. And I don't see anything that says anything. And I could probably, if it was true, it'd be on the Dallas Cowboy website, and I have alerts set up on that and haven't gotten anything there. So I'm hoping that they did not, and because it's just going to be however many years they sign him to a deal, and if he has the same one he has now, he can't be cut, he can't be traded. And if you sign a 7-year deal, you're stuck with him for 7 years. So, or 5 years, or 10 years, whatever it is, you're stuck with him. Unless Jerry's got a performance clause in there, which I can't believe he would not. But
sure,
why would you? If you don't, I don't know if you blame him for not winning any games, but you could certainly do it for throwing too many interceptions, or I guess you could say if he started, 10 games and he lost half of them, he could void his contract. So I don't know if you can do that or not.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't either.
Like, it's just it's going to be interesting the way that this plays out, because from what I'm hearing too is that people are really interested in him, like
Go. Take him.
that. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I don't get it, but I guess that's not for me to.
Yeah.
I'm not the GM. I'm not the scout, so I don't know.
Well,
Anyway,
they did, I believe, cut Trey Lance. They officially, let me put it this way. I don't know if they cut him, but they made Cooper Rush the number 2. So
okay.
they may be keeping Trey Lance, and if they do cut him, they'll sign him to a development. What is it? The taxi squad, or what do they call it now? Remember something? Practice
Scout
squad.
team.
Practice
Yeah,
team.
practice squad.
Yeah. But I can't imagine after him playing through the preseason somebody doesn't pick him up. But I could be wrong.
Sure.
Because he didn't set the world on fire, but he didn't stink either. So, I mean, I thought Cooper Rush was basically flawless in the 2-3 series
Well,
he played.
he was just so smart. Like,
Yeah.
When he was playing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. He's.
But anyway, college football. Let's talk about that for a second. Last week, man, what is going on with Florida State?
Oh, well, that's what I was going to say. I believe they decided to stay in Ireland. And they're stuck there in a time warp situation. I think they got distracted or something. I'm not really sure what the issue was, but yeah, they had some issues there. And
They got whooped.
Yeah, like
by Boston College.
Yeah. Well, and that game was never close.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the first half, and they got dominated.
Oh, yeah. The whole game they got dominated. Castellanos from Boston College looked good.
Uh-huh.
And, like, this is the example of, like, live by the portal, die by the portal, right? So last year, Florida State comes in, has, like, one of the best portal classes in the country, like, takes the world by storm. Everybody feels sorry for them somehow. Like, I don't know how you can be Florida State, but that's beside the point. Like, it's insane, like, what's happened. Like, Kirk Herbstreit just got to be loving this right now. Like, basically the I told you so situation. But, yeah, like, they're playing bad football. Like, I don't get it. And Bill O'Brien just has started to play Big Ten, like, football like he did back in the day when he was at Penn State and just ran the ball and didn't stop. And it was really fun to watch, I thought. And Castellanos, I'm interested to see what happens with that squad this year at Boston College. They were not really on my radar, to be honest with you, but they played a heck of a ball game, that's for sure.
Well, Florida State didn't make any of our top 12 teams for the playoffs.
No,
It wasn't on yours, wasn't on mine.
Nope.
And just kind of after one week, your top 4, Georgia, Utah, Ohio State, Miami, you're intact. Mine might be a little bit in danger at this point. Georgia, Utah, Ohio State. We have the top 3, but my number 4 was Clemson, and they could be a little bit in danger.
That is, yeah. I mean, let's see. I think I had Miami.
Yes, you did.
In mine, and they looked the best in the ACC.
You did.
Which is kind of what I thought. So I feel good about that pick. Cam Ward looked awesome, their quarterback. Can we also talk about Iowa putting up 40 and Nebraska putting up 40 this weekend? Like, what in the world? My teams did great. Dylan Raiola looked like Patrick Mahomes, like, literally. I'm not just saying like the like he played fine, but he came in wearing and looking like Patrick Mahomes. Like, same sunglasses, same hairdo, same outfits. Like, that kind of a statement to make that for sure. But he played really good for Nebraska, like the best deep threat I think they've had as a quarterback in quite some time. I cannot remember the last time they've had a guy that can extend the ball down the field. And watching like 30 years of Nebraska football, and Iowa decided to put up 40 even against Illinois State, which they would this at halftime it was 7-3, 14-3.
No.
So yeah, it was really it was a fun college football weekend for sure. That USC LSU game was really good too.
So what did you
check
think
in on that
of
one.
Brian Kelly's post-game interview?
I think it was to try to take the pressure off the players.
Yeah.
Like, it was like let me act a fool. So like, and he wasn't really like acting. He wasn't, this wasn't Dan Hawkins level of craziness. But
I actually kind of liked it.
I kind of thought so too, because like I said, he was trying to deflect a little bit of the pressure off his players this early. Like, I'm gonna smash the table and get a little mad.
There was some comments on social media that he should be fired for that kind of action. And I thought, man, do you know anything about coaching? I mean, he's just doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Did you watch Denny Green ever? Like, why not that one?
Who they were, who we thought they were.
Thought they were. We let him off and then think about it.
Threw the podium down, tackled the body, slammed the podium,
yes.
and.
Golly. And I remember that game like it was yesterday.
Oh, I do too. That was funny.
And we all came doing that, like, because I lived in Chicago at that time. We played the Bears that game. And all of us were just dying.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Yeah, that was funny.
We let them off the hook.
Yes. And we all know. But the Bears are who we thought they were. And Devin Hester running it back. Like, ugh, good times. Good times had by all.
Have you, speaking of, and this probably isn't related, but kinda maybe. Have you watched the 30 for 30 episode of the Two Bills? Belichick and Parcells?
No,
Dude,
I have not.
You gotta watch it, man.
Good.
Oh my gosh. It is so good.
Huh.
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
They have them sitting in a room together, reminiscing from the time that they met until the time that they went through their rift, till the time they reunited, and it's very enduring to watch them two talk about each other, particularly how Parcells talks about Belichick and how Belichick is so enthralled with him when he talks. It's just you can see how emotional he is when he looks at Parcells. I mean, it's really,
cool.
really, really good.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and all the players talked about him. They're former players, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'd seen bits and pieces of it, but I actually sat down, I think it was last night or the night before last, and I just watched the whole thing. I was like, oh, this is really good.
I need to watch that.
Yeah,
apparently, by the way, I learned that, so Bill Simmons was the first one that came up with the concept of 30 for 30, right?
Who did?
So, Bill Simmons.
Okay.
So he was on his show, which is now he's with the Ringer Podcast Network.
Okay.
He mentioned that they have a show coming out that is like a 6-hour series on Mr. McMahon.
Oh.
So they are going to look at he's not going to pull any punches. Bill Simmons won't do it, and so it should be really interesting. Same guys that did the Andre the Giant show as well. So, Mr. McMahon coming your way.
Vice Network did the 7 Lives of Vince McMahon last year, and
did they?
And I don't even know if I want to watch or listen to. I don't know. Look, wrestling is different now, and I get it. But he single-handedly brought down wrestling the way I know it. The way I know it. And it probably wouldn't have survived anyway, and he just took advantage of it. But he intentionally ruined it, and that's the part I have a problem with, is poach talent from other organizations, and he basically wanted one. It's kind of like Nazi Germany taking over the world. But it's kind of, he took the same concept. I'm probably getting in trouble for saying that, but just divide and conquer, poach all the talent. Go into the territories and take the territories. Things he did at Paul Bosch were uncalled for.
Sure.
Things he did in the Kansas City market were uncalled for. Those were true territorial towns that he could have stayed away from and still been just fine. Look, I don't blame him for buying out Bill Watts, because Bill wanted out. He was sick of dealing with talent, and I don't blame him. But Kansas City and St. Louis were still thriving markets, and so was Houston. And he went into those towns with partnerships with those promoters, and he went into them to intentionally send crap to those towns so they wouldn't draw, and then he bought them out. That's what he did.
Yeah, that's not great.
Nope.
Not a great look.
Nope. But, I get it. Businessman's got to do what it takes to monopolize, and he did that.
Sure.
But cable's what basically killed wrestling, because all those angles were being so overused in territories that nobody would keep up with all the other territories of all the angles they were using. So they could go into Florida and use it, or go into Georgia and use it, or go into Texas and use it, and no one would ever see it twice.
Yeah, which is interesting.
But when cable came along, and Georgia's watching Texas, and Texas is watching Georgia, and ESPN is carrying everybody else, like, hey, wait a minute, I just saw that, a couple weeks ago in Texas. What the heck is that? That's before, not saying nobody ever knew that wrestling wasn't real, but there was some suspension of disbelief, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So it was gone when, and then it really killed it when McMahon back in '89, to save his own hide. Let's fake. So he could get out.
Yeah.
So he could get out of paying taxes, or whatever it was.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Sure.
Oh. Anyway, I'll get off. That's
a really. I just find him fascinating, for better or for worse. Like, I don't like the guy at all.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's what I'm hoping Bill Simmons goes hard in the paint for. Like, they're not going to be nice about him.
Oh, well.
They have nothing to lose.
Really? No.
Yeah. So I think it should be interesting the way that they approach it. Yeah, because it is not going to be. From what I know about the Ringer, and like the years I've listened to the Ringer, they're going to be as journalistically full of integrity that they can. So I really do hope they go hard in the paint on him, because kind of deserves it in a big way, in my opinion. So
when does it start?
I believe it comes out at the end of the month.
Okay, so let me know.
Yeah. Yep. So.
Are you watching the show? Those that are not. By the way, Casey's remote right now. In case you didn't know, of course, if you're on our podcast and you do it live on live on YouTube, you'll see that he's not there live. It says on the phone. Can you see it? Are you watching?
I'm not watching it.
Okay.
No,
Well, I guess what hat I'm wearing.
Is it a Raiders hat because I'm not there?
Yeah, I almost did it, but I didn't wear the Raiders hat. In respect for you, I did not wear the Raiders hat. Not saying it isn't coming out this year, but it didn't come out this game.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that.
Yep.
For sure. How kind of you.
I could turn heel sometime during the season, but right now I'm still walking that subtle line.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know how I feel about that when you do turn heel. That might hurt a little bit.
Yeah, I know you will be. That's the whole angle.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
And then I'll just say, you know what? 3-time Super Bowl champions in the last 5 years. And,
which I will give you your due process. I mean, whatever. So any other guesses on what hat I'm wearing? And it is a sports team.
Is it a Oklahoma State hat?
No, it is not. I
No?
wore that last week. I could wear it again this week. And by the way,
Huh.
those who don't know, I spent a year at Arkansas, and I do have an Arkansas cap, and I didn't wear it either.
Interesting.
In
Okay,
fact, I'm
so
looking at it.
you're not wearing a Cowboys hat.
Nope.
What are you wearing?
UCO.
Oh,
Season opener this
yes.
Saturday against Langston at
Okay.
C.J. Richardson Field, I think is what it's called now, not Watland Stadium. But, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well,
UCO
go
opener.
Broncos.
They if they can get over losing games late, they're going to have a shot. Because for the last few seasons, they have been in almost every game they played, and they have been ahead in every game they played, and about 5 of them end up losing. But if they can figure out a way to close it, and they have some experience this year, they've got a shot to get in the playoffs this year. But it will be hard. But they're in the toughest conference in Division II football, which is the MAII, whatever it is, MIIA.
NAIA, yeah.
Yeah. Very tough. Northwestern, Emporia State, Pittsburgh, all those really, really good schools. In fact, their head coach won a national championship at Northwestern there in Missouri. Their head coach.
Northwest Missouri State?
Yeah. It was the head coach there when they won a national title back when they first started their runs. He's the head coach at UCO now. It's his second year.
So, fun fact. Interesting fact. That's where my uncles went to school.
Oh.
Where was Northwest Missouri State. So, I've always had a vested interest in Northwest Missouri State.
Yep. Well, he's coach at UCO now. So
fun fact.
I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, won a national title there.
Nice.
So anyway, you want to get into picks? You ready? You got anything else you want to cover?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So let's review last week's. Where is? Oh, here we go. All right, so week 1 was last week. We did strictly, and by the way, I went 12 games this week because the pros were so good, so intriguing. So this week we have 12 games. I think I sent that to you instead of 10. So last week, here were some of the. I mean, you kicked my butt last week. So you started out with a really good run. The only games that you missed and we both missed, were Vatek losing to Vandy, which just couldn't believe it. We both lost that.
I couldn't believe that either.
And then we also both lost at UNLV Houston, where UNLV just kicked Houston's butt. So we were both the same on those picks. The picks that you picked that I did not were North Carolina, Minnesota, which just bums me out because Minnesota, I thought, played them well enough to win, but they couldn't close it well. They get away from them.
Sure.
And then the other game that I missed was A&M and Notre Dame, and you got picked Notre Dame, I picked A&M. So you are 9-2, sir, and I am no wait. You are 8-2, and I'm 6-4.
Okay, all right. We'll take that. I feel good about that.
Yeah, I mean you're off to a two-game lead. Also remember though, I remind you, I got like 8 games behind last year and came back to win by 2.
I know. I lost my way. So this thing is a long season, but I like that it came out to an 8-2 start. So we needed that. We needed that for sure. But yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. So let's go. So we're going to start in the college, and I'll let you lead it off, sir. You have the honors. So our first game is Texas at Michigan.
Oh, so we're starting off easy, huh?
You could
really
call
appreciate
it that.
that.
Yeah, we can call it that.
You know, I think Texas is going to win this game, and I think they're going to win it pretty handily. So, yes, I'm going to go Texas.
I kind of pondered back and forth on this. I mean, Michigan's got a brand new coach. They have a brand new quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the same Michigan that we've seen the last 3
No,
years.
they are not.
And therefore, now the only thing they have in their favor is they're playing in the Big House. And I just don't know how that Texas team's going to respond. I think it's going to be really close, but I think you're right. I think Texas pulls away at the end. But it wouldn't surprise me if Michigan won. Just because they're playing in that's one of the most intimidating stadiums in college football.
Oh, for sure. I've been there. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even been there, and I can just tell it on TV. I mean, that ought to be a really good show we could do at some point. The most intimidating stadiums in college football, that would have to be in top 5, in my opinion. But
yeah, I would say so.
I mean, Maine was just because it's so huge. It's
just
big.
There's just a massive people.
What is it, 110,000? It's like going to the Indy 500.
One of the craziest things about it is that you walk down into it. You don't go up.
Yeah.
Like there's no up. The top level is
ground
where
level.
Where you go in. Yeah, it's like in the ground.
Cratered.
I didn't realize that when I went, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Like, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I love the Big House, and I was head to toe in Nebraska gear when I went, and it was like one of the most fun environments I've ever experienced in my life. Like,
cool.
Everybody was so fun and so kind. Like, it was a really fun thing to be a part of. Like, I didn't feel like I was ever in like
danger.
Like anybody was gonna fight me or anything like that. Like, who's gonna fight me? But I really enjoyed my time, but it was really loud the whole game.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I'll take this one. BYU at SMU, which I don't know why I threw that in there. I just thought it looked like an interesting matchup. I'm gonna go with SMU.
Hold on. My gut reaction says SMU. They have a really good quarterback, and he's very interesting. Let's see. What did I think? I picked SMU.
Okay. And that's your final answer?
I believe so. Okay. I believe that's my final answer.
Not very confident, sir.
Yes. No, I'm not. I had it.
Colorado Bulldogs.
Answer.
Why am I saying that? Colorado Buffaloes. Where did I get Bulldogs at? At Nebraska.
Listen. I feel like this is Nebraska's chance. They have to win. Like, they just have to. So I'm gonna go Nebraska.
I'm gonna go the other side. I'm gonna go the fighting Deion Sanders.
Okay.
But I may regret it. But
if you must.
This is, I think, if we go back and look at our previous seasons, every year one of us has picked this one wrong. I mean, we never can get it figured out, or at least I can't. I think every year I missed it. Iowa State at Iowa. One of your you're getting two of your favorite teams here back to back, Nebraska and Iowa. So you know what? I'll go first on this one. And every year it seems like I can't make my mind up, but Iowa's ranked, and I think last year I went with Iowa State and Iowa won. I think you may know that better than me. I'm still going with Iowa.
That defense is tough. It can go. This one can go either way anytime. I mean, since I just feel like Iowa's defense is just so good. So I'm going to go Iowa.
Okay.
That is the Cook Bowl. My mom went to Iowa State, and my dad went to Iowa.
The Cook Bowl.
So, yep, it's.
I did not know your mom went to Iowa State.
Yeah, that is a yearly tradition in our house where, forever, whoever lost that game, had to cook dinner.
Uh-oh.
So for the family. So my mom had to cook dinner a lot back in the day for that weekend. But yeah, anyway, that's a fun fact.
Is Matt Campbell still the coach there?
Yeah, he is, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, last year they were sneaky good towards the end of the season, and that kind of kept his job. Like, they had a really bad start, but yeah, he's still the coach there.
He was a hot commodity at one point in time.
He was.
You just can't maintain. I don't think you can maintain that at Iowa State. I could be wrong, but it's hard. It's hard to. It's kind of like Vanderbilt or Northwestern. I mean, they can be real. They can have a good run for a year or two, but they just can't maintain it because the talent pool is so, especially with NIL now. I mean, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Transfer portal, everything else. Okay, first time since 1980, I believe, the Arkansas Razorbacks played the Oklahoma State Cowboys in Stillwater. I'll let you take this one first.
I'm going with Ollie Gordon.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't not go with him. Like, he's just. I think they're gonna win, and I think they're gonna win big.
They should, but it is Oklahoma State. I will pick the Cowboys, but I think after last year and losing to South Alabama, and who was the other? Oh, Central Florida, the way they did, anything is possible.
You're not wrong,
with this team.
But I will say the fact that North Dakota State is really good, or South Dakota State is really good. And the way that they handled business, like, I'm really glad that they did. Like, they did what they were supposed to last week, and good on them. So I just feel like Oklahoma State's gonna win, and I think they're gonna win pretty big.
Well, I'm picking them, but I ain't holding my breath. Okay, that's our 5 games in the NCAA college football. These are our 7 games? Yeah, 7 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in the NFL. Couldn't pick just 5, so I went with 2 extra. And I could have picked 2 or 3 more. Okay.
Sure.
First game, I'll start this one off. The LA Rams at Detroit. I'm going with the Lions.
Oh, good. I'm going with Lions, too.
Okay. All right. Good call, I think. Jacksonville at Miami. Your call, sir.
I'm going to go Miami.
I'm going to go with Jacksonville.
Okay. Jacksonville might be the surprising team in the AFC South, by the way.
I have a feeling they just might.
Yes.
Green Bay at Philly. Another interesting matchup.
In
Philly.
Friday in Brazil.
In Brazil, yes.
I'm gonna take the Packers. It just kind of feels weird.
I do too.
I think the Packers are gonna win.
I do too. I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just because I can't stand Schiani. And they just imploded last year, and I just don't know if he's got a handle back on it. Yeah, Sirianni, whatever it is. And they imploded last year, and I'm just not sure he's got a handle on it. In fact, I don't believe that he has.
Well, Big Dom's back, so there's that.
They were talking about them on Good Morning Football a couple of weeks ago, might have been a month ago, and I don't know who the girl that replaced Kay Adams. And she's an Eagles fan, and she was just going. I think she's an Eagles fan. She was just going on and on. She's been there in training camp, and I think they got. In fact, I know they've got a handle of this, and you're going to be the team to beat, and all this kind of stuff. And one of the other guys said, "Don't buy everything you hear in training camp. I mean, everybody's good in training camp, right?" So, anyway, I didn't buy it. Baltimore. Oh, yeah, I'll pick this one first. Baltimore at your Chiefs. I'm going with the Chiefs. I feel confident they're going to win this. I don't even need to ask you who you're picking here, right?
Yes, but I think it's going to be close. So I will, but I am going to go with
In fact, I think all year long when I'm picking the Chiefs, I'm just going to put your name down next to them because I don't know you can objectively pick another team.
I really do think they'll lose. I think they'll go 11-6 or 12-5. They really they're just gonna hold on their way to the playoffs.
Can I say something?
Games,
can I say something?
For sure.
There's absolutely zero way that you picked against your Chiefs 6 times this year. Zero.
You're probably right.
Because I think if I went back and looked at it, I think you only picked against them once last year.
I will say, this might be
once.
This might, yeah.
And I think
this could be one of those weeks for sure. But
I think they actually won.
We'll see.
I'm going to go back and, if I remember, I'm going to go back and look at it. But I don't have time to do it now. Dallas at Cleveland. Go.
Dallas.
You've lost your mind. Cleveland.
No.
Yep.
You lost your mind.
Nope.
They're gonna win big, man.
I'm going to do my deadlift. I know I'm not watching it because I have too much to do on Sunday and I can't.
Sure.
I might be able to watch a quarter of it, but I'm not going to do it. My ultimate goal is to try to go through most of the afternoon without checking Gamecast. That's my goal.
Okay.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to try. It's my goal.
May the odds ever be in your favor. So.
I can tell you that I'll be hanging out with people, and somebody will inevitably say, "Man, those Cowboys are really kicking it today," or "What's wrong with your Cowboys?" And then I'll have to go look.
Yes, you will.
As long as somebody doesn't bring it up, I think I'll be fine.
No, I'm gonna be in your.
And I'll block you. I'll turn you off.
You're gonna block me. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna block you in the Gunslinger.
Trouble in paradise here. Here we go.
I'm gonna block you on Sunday. You and Gunslinger both, because I know full well you guys will be. Dan, I don't hear nothing.
Dan, how you doing, buddy?
Because I know if you're doing that, they're losing, and I'm beside myself. So. I'm picking Cleveland. Monday night game, Jets at San Francisco.
Did you say Jets at San Francisco?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that game.
I believe it's at 49ers. I mean, I could double check it.
I am going to say I'll go with the Niners.
Let me double check and make sure they are at home. I'm pretty sure they are. Pretty sure I wrote it down right. NFL, there you are. And week 1 Monday night is at 49ers. I don't know. Seems like every time I pick against... is Aaron Rodgers playing?
Oh yeah, he's playing.
You know what?
He'll be there.
I'm gonna pick the Jets.
I really thought about it too. Like, I don't think you're crazy in thinking that. So that should be an interesting game for sure.
And then I figured for just good measure, I'd throw in Tennessee at Chicago with Caleb Williams and all that good stuff.
I'm feeling good about Chicago, so I'll pick Chicago.
Yeah, I think I will too. All right. So 12 games. We are different on 1, 2, 3, 4. We're different on 4 games.
All right, so that'll be interesting. We might be back tied.
Could be, or you could be 6 games ahead.
Week. Yeah, that should be interesting.
Could be. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. You want to tell people who we are while I dig up the devotional?
Yes, I do. We are Faithletic The Podcast. We are a weekly podcast that this is our 5th season, so our 5th year that we have started this. And we are live here on YouTube every Wednesday night, especially during the football season at 8 o'clock Whether we're live and in person or we are
Remote.
remote, we will have a show. Dan and I seem to be really busy lately, so we might have more of these. Who knows? But we'll come at you either way. So, but we take that term of faith athletic as a
Yep.
a we are both Christians that we
Yes.
believe in the gospel. Our faith means a lot to us, and so we have tried to combine those two things, and we always end our show
Yes.
with a devotion
Mm-hmm.
that we like to call "Daily at the
Daily
Cross."
at the
So
cross.
I believe, Dan,
Yep. I've got it.
you're up.
And one of the
Yes.
things that usually what we try to do with this is try to express some hope for people who are struggling. Generally, we're centered towards people who may be lost or seeking. This one is kind of for people who know the Lord but are struggling. I thought I would
Mm.
change it up just a little bit because and look, all these can benefit all of us from time to time, but I thought maybe this one was a little bit more geared towards those who do believe and are just, and it's called Without a Doubt. Doubt is a desire for certainly in an uncertain time. Um, we tend to seek tangible proof to believe in what we cannot see. This is an innate human response to life's challenges. When you bring your doubts to Jesus, He meets you with compassion and understanding. Instead of rebuking you, He gently guides you toward a deeper faith, offering the reassurance you need. The blessing for those who believe without seeing extends to all of us today. Although you may not have physical evidence, your faith is rooted in the testimony of those who have experienced God's presence and the ongoing work of God in your life. And this a segment here says how to believe without seeing. Okay, number one, embrace your doubts. It is natural to have doubts and questions. Rather than suppressing them, bring them to Jesus. He understands and is ready to meet you in your uncertainty. Number two, seek a deeper faith. Let your doubts lead you to a deeper understanding and stronger declaration of faith. Spend time in prayer and study. Ask God to reveal Himself to you in new ways. Number three, trust in the unseen. Faith often requires you to trust beyond what you can see. Remember the blessing for those who believe without seeing. Your faith is precious to Him. Number four, share your testimony. Sharing your experiences and how God has worked in your life can be powerful and engaging to others. Your testimony can inspire and uplift those around you. Remember, blessed indeed are we who believe without seeing. Can you recall a time when you trusted God without actually having tangible proof? How did you experience and strengthen your faith? Just something that you can ask yourself while you're going through this trial. And this reference comes from John 20, 25 through 29. They told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he replied, "I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands. Put my fingers into them and place my hand into the wound of his side." 8 days later, the disciples were together again, and this time Thomas was with them. The door was locked, but suddenly, as before, Jesus is standing there among them. "Peace be with you," he said. Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and look at my hands. Put your hand in the wound of my side. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe." "My Lord and my God," Thomas exclaimed. Then Jesus told him, "You believe because you have seen me. Blessed are those who believe without seeing me."
Mm-hmm.
Some good stuff, huh?
So good.
Yep.
So good.
Yep. So
I love that.
yeah, and look, I have a request. So I've got a one of the people that works on our company that has had some really, really difficult times in the last couple of weeks. He's been dealing with loss, and he already struggles with some mental health issues. And I'm about 99% sure that he doesn't know Jesus, and I am I felt led to have a conversation with him without it's a very sensitive issue when you're dealing with this with somebody you work with and somebody that
Mm-hmm.
works for you. So I just ask for, prayer and guidance in handling that situation. And it's not the first time I've done this, but I really feel led that this guy could use some hope right now, and I don't think he understands there is hope and how he can get it. And I just ask for prayer and how I deal with that.
Sure.
Yep. Okay. Any parting words?
Go Chiefs. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
Lord loves you. And let's go Irish. Let's do that one more time.
Wait a minute. That's kind of odd. What was that?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Oh, well, breaking the fourth wall there. My bad. Yeah. So, yeah. Gonna be a good week of football.
That's weird. I don't know where that came from. It's the same one I was using before. It's not. Huh. What happened to my one? Okay, it's good. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Coach, and I'm with
Casey.
And we are Faithletic The
Podcast.
Have a good night. Thanks for joining us. Have a good week. See you next week.
See ya.